Just gotta make an adjustment here. It's a little loose. Coke Machine for Real Fishing. Here I am live in Yellek, courtesy of Corey Gingras. He's lent me his hut for the night here. This is my old hood. Getting my fish on. I've been marking a lot of fish on my radar, but not a lot of those fish have been biting. But every once in a while, a big cloud comes through where basically the whole couple of feet down is just all red. I caught one perch so far. I've been told by Corey that I should be anticipating a walleye bite at the proper time, which should be coming any second or any minute. Slush. Well, it's raining outside, I can tell you that. And on my way out here, I can see slush. There's slush all around the man's hut out here. And from what I understand, there's lots of slush all over the lake. And it's just getting warmer and warmer around here, especially with the rain. I've got a poncho for going back across the lake when it comes down to it. Now I've been fishing, trying to do some finesse fishing here with some light stuff because nothing seems to be biting. I got the smallest buckshot that I own right now. What's going on, T Bishop? Thanks for the good luck. Dave Parent, thanks for the good luck, buddy. I'm hoping that these fish are going to get hungry as the night settles in here. So I've got a dead stick with a very lively minnow on it. And that's been the one thing that's got a perch so far. And then I've also got, on the other side, a buckshot rattle spoon with minnow head. Trying to keep it real low key there. And there's been times I've just been letting it sit in a rod holder, hoping that the cloud of fish that keeps coming by are, we'll see it. We'll see what happens. So far, it looks like there's a few people out here on the lake today. Despite the rain, I saw a few snowmobiles and whatnot. I think there's about 30 huts in this area. If anybody out there is in Yellek right now and you're fishing, let me know how it's going, or if you're in Jocko or wherever. Michael Gates, you say, how's the bite today? One perch so far. I've been here for maybe an hour before I turned on the live stream here, maybe a little bit longer. But I'm marking a lot of fish. Like when I first put down my radar, it was just fish, fish, fish. Lots of them. And then they would sort of disappear for a while, and then there'd be another cloud come through. And I had the smallest jig I possibly have, which is a tungsten jig. That was what I was catching the herring on the last live stream. But the perch down here were just sort of kissing at it. Not really settling in. So far I've thrown down a rattle bait, a dinner bell. Let's see what else. Vibrato. And they didn't want any of those. So I'm just trying to dead stick my buckshot rattle spoon here. And the other, it's like a rig that just got a dropper with a really small treble hook and a minnow on it. So far that's been the one that's caught anything. So hopefully we start seeing some action here. Not too bad of a walk out here. I managed to miss the rain. I had a heater on in here for a bit, and it was getting a little bit hot. But let's hope that we see some bites coming in here. So I'm just going to turn the camera around so you guys can see the fish finder here. I'm going to go through. Sorry, this will zoom in if I flip it back and forth. Okay. All right. So there's the fish finder there. You'll see over there I got the bell rod. It's on one of those jaw jacker style things, but it's not actually set up to trigger when a fish bites. It's just got the bell on it. So when they ring the bell, I'll go and try to catch them. So just going through the messages here. So Matt D. Camillo, you're heading out your way tomorrow. What part of the lake are you gonna be hitting tomorrow? Michael Gates, I figured you were saying how's the bite? I said how the bite. Trent Brooks, you're up tomorrow afternoon. Are you going out with an outfitter or out by yourself? Jeff Vanderkoy, I saw that picture of that pike, man. I'm gonna post that on my Facebook page there, if that's all right with you. That's a beauty pike. I imagine he tangled up all your lines. Really good. That was I imagine he'd get around everything. Just from little pike, when I've caught little pike, I know that it's usually a big ordeal. So Corey is in the messages here. He's the guy who lent me the hut for this live stream. So he says bite should pick up soon. They were doing that to us the other day. Lots on the flasher. Yeah, sorry. It looks like there's somebody's down there. It's like I don't know if the best approach is for me to just let the jigs sit. They seem to just not respond to anything. Or earlier today, it seemed like when I started moving the jig, all of a sudden they all disappeared. All right, I'll just let it sit. So I'm about 17.7 feet of water. I'm gonna try to keep my lure between 16 and 17. Nice and close to the bottom. Nader, hey buddy. Jaybird Outdoors. Say, hey there, I just left Hunter's Bay. Was there since Sunday afternoon. Did very well. Caught 35 walleye, 5 perch. Were you out there with an operator there, Jaybird? T. Bishop. Yeah, nice hut. Well set up. Let me give you the tour. Just gonna tilt this back here. So so here it is. We got things set up here with a nice window. Got a bench on that side. You can see I got my camera operating. There's my bin. I've started really hauling stuff around in a bin these days because it just makes it easier to throw into my truck, and as well keeps like in today when it was raining, keeps everything dry. There's the heater there. I had it running a little bit earlier. Runs very hot. And we got these this nice rod set up here. And then a nice shelf up there. That's where I'm fishing today. It was probably a 10-minute walk out here. Got some fresh air. There we go. Nader. Right now, you say what color? I've got a UV green, smallest buckshot rattle spoon that I own. David Bennett. The weather is raining. It's raining and there's water everywhere. It's a tall boot kind of day. And there's definitely, like, I walked out on a snowmobile trail. It was fairly firm on top, but you could definitely see a few wet spots as you're coming out. Blippery. Hey, I have to do huts rented in calendar next weekend. Do you think it'll still be a go? Yeah. Pretty sure if you got a hut rented at this point that it's going to be a go. We got enough ice, and it takes a lot for the the weather to melt the ice once it's there. And it's just going to be messy getting out there, no doubt. The operators, it'll be a little bit challenging to get out, but I highly doubt that they will cancel anything at this point. Pierre Menard, I'm fishing on the Yellek area in the Nova Bocage subdivision. This is where I used to live before I lost my home on the lake. Nader, I'm in 17.7 feet of water. So Corey, you say purple, green, orange was working well. I was checking out all your tackle while I was in here. So you said a small jig. I see from the jigs I'm looking around here, I see quarter ounce, 3/8, and on another one. We've got a few jig heads here. I'm probably gonna get through a few. We'll see. I'll give this jig that I got on there, or the buckshot rattle spoon, a little bit of time, and then switch to a jig head. Got lots of lively minnows, and I got some very small minnows there as well. I've been using the sort of larger sized minnows. Okay. So Corey, you say, look at the rod behind you, red rod. Oh yeah. So it looks like you got a chartreuse. Whoops. Let me just take a look at what you got here. So here's what Corey has. He said he was having luck with. Chartreuse jig head. It's good. Might fire that. Might just use this rod. I'll give my rod a few minutes here. Corey, I noticed that you have a lot of these like old school fishing rigs in here. Do you guys use those a lot? Let me just take a look at this guy here. That's definitely, I know, ever since I've been ice fishing, I've always used rods, but I know lots of people really swear by these other kinds of jigging rigs. I've never really tried them, to be honest with you. Just gonna do the rod a little bit there. Hoping this is like one of those days where, like right now, it seems like I'm seeing them, but they're just not biting. Species 8472, how did your trip go with your wife and your son there? So Pierre, you said you're with Pros Prime Time last 2 days. Tuesday you caught 33 perch, all over 10 inches. 13.5 inches, yeah. That doesn't surprise me. There's some monster perch in this lake. 13.5 is a good one. I think that's around the biggest perch I've ever caught here. 4 small wallies, eh? Sounds like the wind's picking up a bit out there. It's supposed to turn to freezing rain later today if it hasn't already. Starting to hear a little, the taps. They're like, it's going to be frozen pellets and freezing rain. So far, all I've really seen has been the the rain. Okay, heading to Calendar Bay again for the weekend. This is Matt DiCamillo. Heading to Calendar Bay again for the weekend. Was really hoping the slush would disappear a bit. Let's get the truck out easier. There were definitely people in trucks out there yesterday, but this rain is definitely not going to help anybody anybody in a truck. Like I was saying in yesterday's report there, right at the government dock where people were getting on the lake in their trucks, was pretty gummy and lots of deep grooves in there. But it seemed like once they were on the lake, you were okay. But I mean, that was yesterday, and who knows what it's gonna be. Jay Bird Outdoors, you say, yep, with Fish Bay Marina. Yeah. Fish Bay Marina. That's a good spot. So it's funny, a lot of the operators, I don't necessarily know them personally, but I've talked to quite a few of them. I'm trying to think of which operators I've actually met in person. I've met, obviously, the South River Resort people, Steve and Pam. I've met them. And then when I was delivering this year's ice thickness prize to Stacy, she was at South Shore Ice Condos, and while I was there, got to chat with Garnet. And I guess I met Sean from Bear Creek Cottages there. If you guys, I don't know if any of you guys saw the video I made where I was documenting sorry, my stuff's all tangled up down here. Hold on a second. There we go. I was documenting the breeding program that the Lake Nipissing Stakeholders Association put together, and that's where I met Sean Gagne. But I've spoken with the guy from Fish Bay. I've spoken with Lake Nipissing Outfitters. And I've spoken with Lake Nipissing Ice Fishing Charters. Anyway, I think that's about it. Nick Bruce, how are you doing? Kevin Vieira, coming up on the 24th. Can't wait. So Nick Bruce, you're heading out with Snowfari Adventures. I think on my drone video of South Bay, I thought it was the South River Resort huts that I got in the video, but I think it was actually Snowfari. So if you watch my South Bay drone video, you'll see how they got things set up from a bird's eye view. Greg Garland, you're heading out with Angler's Haven, eh? So Corey, you said your dad likes the big jig heads. You like the smaller ones. Oh, I just saw my dead stick bell shake a little bit. That's a good sign. Let's see. I'd rather be fishing. Yeah, I can say I usually keep a bunch of. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, we got a fish coming in. It is a beach jumbo. Guys, going in the pan. That's probably a fat 10-incher. I'll show them to you in a second here. I was going to get him with the hook. Okay. So that's it. Sorry, guys. My son's been asking to have a fish fry for a little bit here, so here's a nice jumbo perch. Get him out on the ice there. So there you go. That was a good sign. Sorry, just trying to slip past the camera here. Just gonna give this guy the treatment. All right, one fish on the board. Let's see if we can catch some more here. All right, so that was a buckshot rattle spoon with a minnow head on it. Let's see if we can. I'd be quite happy with a bunch of those guys. I just realized my phone was not on my tripod particularly well. When we went to stay with Lake Nipissing ice fishing charters there, the lady running it, Diane, told us that she had, there we go, another perch. This guy feels small. Yeah, that's got to be the smallest perch I've ever caught here. I swear, sometimes I don't catch too many small guys, like small perch on Nipissing. This guy's a real mini. All right, we're on a good roll here. Just gonna go ahead and keep rocking this rig. So it seems like they're down there. All right. All right. Oh. Okay. Let's see if we can get some more. So Kenneth, you're heading to Sunset Point this weekend. Are you going out with Perot's Prime Time? Or are you going to be out there with the pop-up? I'd rather be fishing. We're starting to see some perch come in. So, Jeff, you have an old guy's 3-day trip, South Shore condos, eh? Should be fun. February 28th. Yeah, I'll be at the very, very end of this season. I'm going to be out with Reagan Thompson there at Paradise Cove Resort. Looking forward to that. Sandman Outdoorsy. So you say you're heading up tomorrow for the weekend with Prosper Pine Cottages. Lucky Hat's packed. It's good to hear. I actually am not that familiar with Prosper Pines Cottages. Do they do like a day hut, then you rent a cottage kind of a deal, or do they do the bungalows? Here's a question for you guys. Do they do ice bungalows? Oh, there's only fish looking right at my thing there. Do they do ice bungalows on Simcoe? I don't know if I've ever heard that. I know they do the day things. I mean, this year obviously they're probably not doing much of the. It's probably affecting things pretty badly, the weather. And so Trent Brooks, No Fiery Huts. Hope they put us on the bite. Hopefully the bite's on. When I was at the Lake Nipissing ice fishing charters there, I could only spend half the time there. My brother and his buddies were there, but I was told by the guy giving me a ride in that another hut that wasn't, I think it was a couple of huts over from us, they were closer to an island, and they caught like, I don't know, over 100 perch. And our hut was kind of slow, so I guess it's all about where you are and what's biting when, you know. Well, so in the wind they jig themselves. You're talking about these. Do you put these, Corey? Do you put these jiggers on something when you put them outside? Do they sit on some sort of a stand? Oh, there's definitely a fish looking at my thing. Bite it. Bite it. Come on. All right. 4-count pour. Heading out next weekend. I think an ATV will make it across the bay. I want to fish just outside of Calendar Bay. Well, from what I've heard of people driving ATVs out there, it might not look great as far as slush is concerned. There's definitely a fish down there. Come on. Oh, he's following it. Come on. Bite it. This fish is like all over. Oh, there we go. Oh boy. Oh shit. Pardon my French. I had something sizable on here. I don't know what it is. Okay. I'm gonna go with. Oh, come on. Okay, so I had something big on. Oh boy. It's pike. Okay, he's right below the hole. Okay. Okay. He's coming up. Okay. Oh. That guy's got to be 5 pounds. Just gonna get him off the hook here. Okay. My pliers are stuck to my finger, and I need 2 hands to get it off. Oh yeah, just gonna turn the camera around. Sorry for the. So you notice my fingers are stuck to my pliers. This guy's got me shaking a little bit. Okay, that's a nice sized pike. Decent. He's probably eating all my perch on me. I don't know. I'll measure them and then put them back down the hole. I don't usually keep pike of any size. Sorry. This is definitely a decent pike for the live stream. Okay. Oh boy. My other rig's going now. This is a bit of a clown routine here. I actually have to leave the hut because the fish snuck down the hole. I'll be back in a second. I think I pulled something there. Oh. Okay, so the fish sort of slipped. Instead of going down the hole, he went sideways underneath the hut. All right, I'm back. My other rod is. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So while I was messing with that pike, something stole my minnow on the other rod. So let's get the lines down and keep fishing. All right. Down goes the dead stick. Just gonna switch that. All right. Down goes the dead stick. I'm gonna get some minnows here jumping all around. Sorry. I'll get organized in a second here, guys. Just, things got a little exciting there for a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. So that pike had that hook just on the tip of his lip there. He didn't give me that much of a fight. For a fish that was half decent size, like I said, I give him like, it's definitely not 10 pounds. Definitely, I'd say, I don't know, between 4 and 5. Definitely decent. All right. So far, things are going good. Just gonna turn the camera back around here. Sorry, my hands are all slimed up with pike slime. Let's get this. Sorry, I have to rotate the camera to get it to zoom. It's got this funny setting that's something to do with the live. Okay, we're back in the game. Back in the mix. All right. Well, that was fun. Okay. So I got a whole minnow on there now. So species 8472, you say you rode out to Cross Point. A lot of snow on the ice. Once past the Outfitter Road. A lot of slush out. Yeah. Slush is just the worst. Jeff Burnett, how you doing? Wife and son both out fish, eh? Species 8472. Isn't that always the way? Did you catch any keepers out there? Nick Bruce, you say Sean is a great guy, awesome outfitter, Bear Creek. I've heard lots of good things. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Sean has a YouTube channel. Is extremely well produced, where he goes out as a guide and like puts people on fish, and then his buddy, who's like a chef, cooks those fish up. I don't know if he tells people about that too much, but I came across it and I'm like, hey, I recognize that guy. And yeah, it's really well done, really well produced. So species 8472, snow depth was over your rubber boots in places, eh? Oh. Okay. Jeff Burnett, you said you're at Bear Creek. You did well. Your son caught a big sturgeon. How big are we talking? Because they definitely get big. I'd rather be fishing around the hut specifically. There is quite a bit of water on the ice here. Out on the lake though, you can just sort of see some dark spots where there's a bit of some watery holes. Uh, Sorry, Nader, when you asked how many stripes, I guess you were talking about this perch here. One, two, three, four, five, six. One, two, seven striper. Craig, oh, you said, did I wave at a letter carrier today? Um, my wife thinks she saw you today. I think I saw the fishing guy you watched today delivering mail. You know, I don't recall waving at a letter carrier today. Um, I don't think so. I don't think that was me. I do apparently have some doppelgangers out there, and it's been happening since I was in university. I remember people saying like, "Oh, I saw you at this club. You know, how'd the rest of your night go?" And I'm like, "I was never there." And another place, somebody was said to me like, "Oh, I saw your acoustic set at the Raven and Republic the other day." And I'm like, I wasn't there. That wasn't me. It seems to happen. Pierre Menard, all of our luck were caught on pinhead minnows. I've been hearing a lot about pinheads. Bernie, welcome to the party. Stuart Gibb, where'd your name Coke Machine come from? That's you know, that's one of those questions for the books. I My last name is Kokanen, and I'm half Finnish, which probably explains my appreciation for extremely cold temperatures. Um, and I guess let's see, my last name is spelled Kokkonen, and some people see that double K and they decide to pronounce it like cock, like Kokkinen. So I had a university professor at one point was handing back an essay in front of 500 people and was just like Eric Kokkinen. And then, everybody in the class thought that was hilarious. So they went to the front, or I went to the front of the class. I turned around. I said, "That's Kokanen, like Coke, like the pop, Kokanen." And then a buddy of mine just called me Coke Machine one day, and this was years before I started fishing videos, and I just started to adopt that name as a way to sort of keep people from mispronouncing my last name, which I'm sure anybody out there, I know lots of people out on the list of people who come to visit my live streams here, they there's a variety of different names. I'm sure lots of people get grilled for their last names. I mean, obviously, with a name like Kokanen, I got called Coconut, Coconut Joe, all sorts of things um, throughout my life. But Coke Machine, more or less, is, I mean, when you're running a fishing channel, you might as well have some sort of crazy handle. And so I just sort of stuck to it. But yeah, it has a lot to do with my last name and not much to do with other things people mistake it for. you know. Yeah, Ken, when you're saying can't always pick the best days. Any fishing day is a good day. It is, especially if you got somewhere that's warm and dry that you can fish from. That's great. In the summertime, I always enjoy fishing in the rain, and I've had some banger days in pouring rain before. And even out here, when I just had pop-up huts when I lived in the Yellek area, I remember one night it was just like raining. There was like 6 inches of water on top of the ice. It's towards the end of the season, and I was catching just walleye after walleye. It was great. So Greg Garland, you got two 8-man huts, 16 guys for the weekend. That sounds like you guys got a party lined up. So Simcoe, Blair, you're saying Blair Holloway, you're saying Simcoe does have bungalows, eh? Do most operators just operate with day huts, or is there quite a few with bungalows out there? I'd rather be fishing. Any advice on renting an overnight hut? Calling around a regular guy, and he's booked until March. I think since we lost a lot of the operators lost a lot of business right at the beginning of the year due to the bad conditions, that a lot of people have eaten up the midweek spots. And I imagine that all the weekends have got to be booked right now. But if you if you're on the Lake Nipissing ice fishing board, um, if you're on the Lake Nipissing ice fishing board, they will often post when there's a cancellation. So just try to keep your eye out there and be ready, because it happens a lot. Hotbox huts. So you say, of course we run sleepers on Simcoe. Nice. It's good to hear. I got to make a trip down there and see how things are going. I think you guys are mostly on perch and hotbox huts, right? Perch and pike. So you got a new report coming in at 6:30. Yeah, it seems like now that pike's gone, I think he scared away all the fish, all the rest of them. Well, it looks like sorry, something's down there at 14 feet. You know, I see some walleye come through here, or at least a couple more perch to go with my one perch. I might have to put that guy on ice. Tyler Driscoll, are you coming up this weekend to your hut in Calendar Bay there? Yeah, Jeff, when you say you hit some water on the ATV, stopped us dead. I can only imagine. See, it's like if you look at my fish finder right now, there's like a lot of things in the middle of the column here. And I don't know if that Cisco is coming through. Not a whole heck of a lot at the bottom there. And it all seems like they're all drifting up. Maybe it's bubbles coming up or something. Let my rod rest a minute here. That that pike really slammed me up there. I think I might need a shower after this. Yeah, it's funny with those pliers I got there because they're like the hemostat style ones, which I really prefer because they sort of keep out of like they're very they don't take up a lot of space, but they're highly effective. And when you snap them on on a lure or on a hook or whatever, they're really, really hold on tight. But in that case, it was around my thumb, much like a, like somebody's wedding ring. Of course, they don't have it on their thumbs, but you know what I mean. Yeah, species 847. Oh, looks like you got some activity down here. Oh, somebody bumped it. Come on. There was a lot of big cloud of something down there. Hopefully they didn't grab my minnow right off my hook. Better check. Minnow's still on. All right, just turn on the light here. It's starting to get starting to get dark out here. Okay. All right. Yeah, I find that pike are always the ones that tend to tangle up every line in the hut. Yeah, usually if I catch a pike and they eat my hook in some kind of way or they're bleeding a lot, I will definitely eat them. I've definitely eaten them in the past. I'm sure my son would have told me to eat that guy, but I didn't. I decided to throw them back there. And I like to keep them if they're like 2 pounds, you know? I'm sure I could have got some good steaks off that guy though. Hmm. Wayne Foreman there, I saw you had some pictures of some whitefish you caught there on Simcoe. How deep did you have to go and how was the ice out there? Unless that was a picture from a while ago. Lana Chev, you see the fishing's been great this year. Pretty good for 17 feet of water. Are you getting a lot of bookings so far? Steve, hey Coke, how are you doing? Um, Lieutenant Sam, you said you had a lot of rain today in Western New York. Losing your ice. Off to Florida next week, eh? Sounds nice. But I see so many videos of people fishing in the ocean. Now, I have done it in Cuba before, but I really would love to get into some of those big, big, big fish. Mitch Ross, heck yeah, Coke. Lots on slab wraps. I'm trying to think. Slab wrap. I feel like I definitely have one of those somewhere. Do they have a rattle in those ones? They're sort of like a lipless bait, I think. You see a lot of hut operators are pulling huts off from Simcoe. Nick, that's concerning. Joe Discounter McCormick, thanks for the good words. Those videos, keep up the good work. Big fan. Yeah, I'll be keeping up with. I'm gonna try to get like a drone video out every week, just of the different areas. It's kind of fun, and since Everybody crowdsourced that drone for me. I'm trying to make sure I hit them back with lots of videos. Ken Snodden, have you been out much lately? Port Colborne, Ontario. That's where you are, Joe Discounter. Port Colborne. Trying to think if I've been there. Steve Powlis, you say, how's the ice conditions? I just joined in. Plan on heading up next weekend. Slush, man. Lots of slush all over. The ice is probably a good 14, 15 inches. But slush on top. It's messy out here, and it's raining right now. So unless it gets some real cold coming. Like I said, I was planning on doing a trip down to Lake Rosso in a couple of weeks, and I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. My brother and I might go up to a Temagami area lake and do some ice camping. We'll see. That was fun. We did last year, but it was negative 25. Big Filthy. How are you doing? Can't wait to get up there. You say we've had 2 early trips canceled so far. Brutal. Our 12th annual trip was rescheduled for March 1 to 5. Bear Creek. You say maybe we can hook up. So you're Wayne Foreman, you're fishing in 19 feet of water, 8 inches of ice. So it's interesting. Those whitefish must just go around. Last year I was in Temagami area lake there, and we got totally nuked by slush. I had my brother's snowmobile stuck really bad. It was terrible. It took us like 4 hours to get out. And we finally set up camp. We didn't even fish. We were just night camping for the night. And getting wood was a huge problem because the snow was so deep on the shore that you had to basically crawl on your belly to get to any kind of firewood. And then the next day we're fishing in 20 feet of water, and my brother caught a half decent lake trout. So I guess it shows you these deep water fish can be anywhere when it's nice and cold. I've definitely learned how to cook pike, or to not cook them. Well, I cook most fish the same way, but how to cut them. Definitely can get some decent fillets off of them. Okay, come on, fish. Oh, come on. I got somebody looking at it. Just really trying to vibrate my rod here. Try to get that buckshot rattle rattling. It's funny when you come out and the fish are on the bite and you can throw anything down and they'll bite it. Like I remember catching walleye on like the biggest rattle bait you'd never and it was like bass color. And then some days they're like this where they're just like really, really tight-lipped. So Wayne, you were out on Whitefish Shoal yesterday, 5 inches. I'd rather be fishing. Yeah, the Goliath groupers. Like those things are like the size of a cow. I'm surprised more divers don't get mangled up by those things because they look like giant bass, and I imagine they could probably totally totally mangle up a diver. Tungsten 5.5 or Lucas Miller tungsten 5.5 millimeter with a plastic trailer has been slaying for you this year. 5.5 millimeter tungsten, huh? I might just throw down a really small lure for a second here. Probably keep fishing for a bit. Just going to change up my rig for a second here. I'm gonna fire down my little tungsten unit there and just see what happens. I might also throw a rattle bait in a second for fun. We're sort of right at that walleye time. You know what? I think I'm gonna put the tungsten down for a second. I will actually grab a big old rattle bait and see what happens. See if I can attract anybody to my shit. Pardon my French here. But I keep catching whiffs. That slimy pike. He got all over slimed up my sweater. All right, throw him down. Golden rattler. Let's see what happens. So far my dead stick, it's got that one perch. And whatever was on there before that I lost, I don't know what happened to it. So it's starting to sound like excuse me, it's starting to sound like the weather's turning into ice pellets now. Luckily my ride home isn't too far. I got the rattle bait down there. I feel like maybe this might be a step in the wrong direction, but whatever. So Lana, you said you reeled in a 125-pound blue marlin in Cancun. Fish for triggerfish. Amazing to eat. Snapper. So I've eaten snapper before. The red snapper. And then gray snapper. When I lived in Toronto, my wife and I lived right at College and Crawford Street, so like Little Italy down there. And we used to go to the Kensington Market on Friday and just buy whatever fish was on sale at the time. So we tried all sorts of different kinds of saltwater fish, like different kinds of snapper. And then like I remember trying a jackfish. It's interesting because a jackfish is like one of those fish that has texture much like tuna, but it's I guess you'd say the flavor isn't quite the same as tuna. Let's see if I can organize things a little bit better. Sorry. But yeah, it definitely has that. Definitely is like meatier, like a tuna style. This is the type of night where you can't see quite so well, so everything gets tangled on other stuff. Yeah, like I see a lot of videos where dudes and ladies are fishing for Goliath grouper just like off the pier or whatever, and they're just like they throw in a fish. It's like 5 pounds on a massive hook, and just let it sink. And of course, their sinker is like some massive tennis ball size sinker, and they just drop it down there, and then they get these like massive groupers on. And I can only imagine what it is to get one of those groupers off the hook. It's probably quite dangerous, I'd imagine, because they could really flip you around. So I'd rather be fishing. You say, where did I get the drone? I ordered it from OmniView Tech or something. It's in Mississauga, and I ordered it there because it. And the drone I have is called the Autel Nano Plus. I specifically picked a drone that I didn't need a license for. It's funny because I know a few people who have drones of different sizes and they don't realize that they can get themselves a pretty serious fine for flying a drone without the proper licenses. So mine is below 250 grams, which allows it to be a license-free drone. Um, and it's funny, sometimes I talk to people and they have some drone that's 2 pounds, and I'm like, "Oh, did you get the license for that?" They're like, "Oh, you don't need a license for that." Like, well, it's like a $5,000 fine, but whatever. So yeah, I got the Autel Nano, which is a competitor um for the DJI Mini. I think they're up to the Mini 3 now. But at the time when I bought the Autel Nano, it had the features that it had that the DJI Mini 2 didn't have was sensors to tell you when you're about to hit a tree. Um, so I ended up going with the Autel Nano, but I think the DJI Mini 3 has the sensors on it now. But everybody came together last year and helped throw in some funds for me to get that drone, and it's much appreciated, and I really enjoy flying it, and the shots you get are awesome, and I keep trying to put together videos with it. um, so I got to thank everybody who threw in on that one, especially Species 8472, who covered most of it. So I gotta show my appreciation for that. Yeah. So Primetime Outfitters on Rosso. It's it's too bad because my buddies and I, we used to go to Rosso there every year. Not every year. Every couple years when we were younger people. And then we haven't been in a while. And it's kind of unfortunate because it seemed like we're finally going to be able to make it happen. But it seems like the weather doesn't agree. So I'm feeling the same burn a lot of people who got canceled on are feeling. Andrew Thomas, good evening to you. Mr. Brickboy, you missed a half decent gator I caught there. So Jeff Burnett, you just got back from Bear Creek. We were there all week. We go back this Wednesday for 4 nights. Great times. Lucas Miller, you say, I believe someone went through the ice around Johnson's Beach. Is that on Simcoe? Are you talking about it? I don't know if a Johnson's Beach here, or you must be talking about Simcoe. Um, yeah, sounds like things are pretty shady there on Simcoe. All right, I'm gonna go with. I don't know how much time I got left here. Not because I want to leave, but because I'm gonna have to go home. So I'm gonna try to throw something else on for a few minutes here, and then go walking in the rain. Get my poncho on. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear it. Hear lots of little clicks. Let's see. What am I going to throw now? I know. I'm going to throw a big old glow-in-the-dark vibrato. Maybe I'll be lucky enough to catch a big old ling out here. Okay. Oops. All right, glue this one up. So I think I might be putting my perch on ice here. All right, just got it from the light. All right, it's all glued up now. Let's see how this goes. All right, so I'm gonna rock this for a few minutes, and I should probably get rolling. Surprised that dead stick hasn't produced some more. I'm hoping this vibrato. When I was out in Calendar Bay the other day, I just kept thinking to myself, that due to the raw amount of huts down there, that those fish must have seen every lure, every lure that exists at some point. Steve, you say you're heading to Nipissing this weekend. Where should you try? Calendar Bay, South Bay, Sunset? Where do you think? Are you on a snowmobile? Are you walking? I feel like, I don't know, any one of those spots are good. You can get to deeper water in Calendar Bay really quick. And I think, I'm not sure how it is in South Bay there. It's probably not too far you have to go. Any one of those options are good options to start with. So, don't know if I can point you in the absolute right direction. I know that Calendar Bay tends to be very busy. Yeah, last weekend was when I was out in South Bay there, and the -30 was really something. Sorry, my lure's stuck on itself here. There we go. Yeah, I was at 5 o'clock in the morning. I woke up to relieve myself, and I saw just like the most amazing moon dog around the moon. It's huge. So I'd rather be fishing, say, Iron Island. It's been on fire this year. Darren, you missed when this live stream's done. Go back, I don't know, 30-40 minutes ago, and you'll see a half decent gator I caught through the hole here. Yeah, perch and a pike. Daryl McLeod, thanks for dropping by. How's the fishing out your end of the lake? Garden Village. Yeah, Corey isn't with me here, Daryl. But his hat's here. I saw his hat. So he was here once. Levi Croxon got a decent pike here. Four by four truck. Hey, you might be seeing some slush down there, Steve. People are driving on Calendar Bay. I saw a couple trucks out the last time I was there. The part where you get on the lake at the launch there is a little greasy though, so watch out for that. I don't know, Darren, what kind of gray snappers you're talking about. Talking about fish, buddy. All right, so in 3 more minutes at 6:10, I'm gonna wrap it up here and get walking through this mess. Looks like it's gonna be a fun stroll. Maybe I'll push it to 6:12, just in case. Yeah, seems like things have slowed down here. One time my brother, he was at work or whatever, and he couldn't get out till like 8 o'clock, and he insisted we go fishing at 8 o'clock at night. Or we're already fishing, basically ready to pack it up, me and my buddy there, and then my brother shows up and he's like, let's keep fishing, and we were just like, we're gonna go to bed. He insisted we keep fishing, and then he caught, I think shortly after that, as soon as he set down his line, caught one of the biggest walleye that he's ever caught on this lake. So I guess they still bite then. Yeah, I haven't been steelhead fishing in a long time there. Lieutenant Sam, it'd be great. One day I'll get out again. Um, so I'd rather be fishing. What's the fish count? 1 pike, and it's actually 2 perch. But 1 perch was really small, and then I lost one while I was messing with that pike. It's not bad. I guess the last video I did in Calendar Bay there, we caught 2 herring and 1 walleye, but probably in the last 10 minutes of the video. I feel like I'm going to be real wet on this walk. I'm going to have to make sure I pack everything up real, like last I checked, my sled had a little lake in it. So see how that goes. All right. Yeah, if you guys could hit the like button like David Bennett is suggesting here, that'd be appreciated. It's like these videos get They get reviewed. Sometimes I like to think people put them on while they're going to sleep. But it's fun hanging out with people. One guy commented on my last video. He said, "I can't imagine fishing alone is that, without beer is any fun at all." And I just responded, "I had 40 people with me that whole time I was fishing, so it wasn't quite like fishing alone." Yeah, I think this year all the rules are out the door. I'd rather be fishing. I feel like everything was late. Things are all shifted around. It's raining. It's raining in the middle of February. Not to say that doesn't happen. It's just, it's been a weird year. All right, folks, we're down to the last minute. I'm going to jig real hard. Just trying to make that vibrato dance around. It doesn't take much. All right. So that concludes our broadcast day, everybody. Thanks a lot for showing up. I'm gonna have to go through my pictures there. I've got my other action camera running, so hopefully I got some good shots of that pike there. Thanks again, Corey, for letting me use his hut, and I'll make sure I lock it up tight for you. And you might want to check this place out in the morning because it seems like there's a lot of water gathering around the hut here. But you got it propped up pretty good from what I saw. If I leave anything in the hut, Corey, I will come and collect it someday. I think I'm pretty good though. Anyway, thanks everybody. Everybody have a great night and stay warm, stay dry, and we'll catch you guys probably Monday or Tuesday. I'll probably go out to the hut there in Calendar Bay that Tyler Driscoll's lending me. Have a great night, everybody. See you real soon.